Saturday will mark 20 years since the events of September 11, 2001. How the city of San Antonio, the city council, marked the occasion.
2 more people are in jail after allegedly shooting at Bexar County Sheriff's deputies. How an unsuspecting neighbor aided in their arrest.
More dry air today, some hot temperatures this afternoon, but some more very nice mornings on the way too. We'll take a look at that forecast coming up.
Live from KSAT 12, the news at noon starts right now.
We begin today with a deadly crash. 1 person dead after a rollover crash on I-10 and Farm Road 725 in Seguin.
We're told it happened around 7 in the morning when a semi-truck was traveling in the eastbound lane. That's when police say the truck had a blowout. It caused the driver to lose control of the vehicle and roll over. There were 2 people in the vehicle, the driver and 1 passenger. The driver was taken to a nearby hospital. The passenger, though, declared dead at the scene.
Both the eastbound and westbound lanes of I-10 closed in the area, along with Farm Road 725 northbound. Authorities will update us when those roads become open on the Seguin Police Department Facebook page.
Bexar County Sheriff says 2 deputies are recovering from an attempt on their lives. Shots fired at them in the middle of a neighborhood. The 2 suspects in that case have been arrested.
They were caught in that same far west Bexar County neighborhood where this all happened, near Highway 90 and Loop 1604. And as Katrina Weber tells us, that was in part with the help of an unsuspecting homeowner.
2 men are in handcuffs that seem to be hard-earned. They're accused of breaking into cars, a home, backyard shed, and trying to shoot their way out of trouble, aiming at Bexar County deputies chasing them.
It's just luck. It's just by God's grace that we're not talking about 2 dead deputies.
Sheriff Javier Salazar says 2 bullets hit a patrol car as the deputy was getting out. He was answering a 3 a.m. call about car burglaries in the Amber Creek subdivision.
I'm told the only reason that suspect stopped firing is because his weapon ran out of ammo. He ran it dry in an effort to try to kill this deputy.
Another parked car was hit by shots fired at a second deputy. Neither was hurt. The suspects ran away but didn't get far. Before deputies were able to get those 2 suspects under arrest, it seems that they met up with a bit of street justice here. That was courtesy of a homeowner who was able to slow them down by roughing up one of the suspects.
They came in, they got the keys, and basically, I'm assuming they were looking for a getaway car.
Anthony Cardenas says during their run, the suspects barged right through his home. He caught them in his pickup, not knowing they had guns.
I pulled the door open and we got into a fight inside the truck and went from the driver's side to the passenger side. We both fell out.
Caused quite a bit of injury to one of the suspects, who is a bit bloody.
Both suspects now are in a lot of trouble, facing charges including attempted capital murder. Katrina Weber, KSAT 12 News.
New at noon, a teenager is in jail after police say that he shot his neighbor during a fight last night. It happened in the 1700 block of Santa Rita Street. That's on the south side of town. And that's where police say 19-year-old Jose Gonzalez got in an argument with an 18-year-old neighbor. They were challenged to a fight. Police say that Gonzalez then pulled out a handgun and began shooting. Police arrived at the scene and found the victim had been grazed by a bullet. Gonzalez was arrested last night and charged with aggravated assault with a deadly weapon. His bond set at $100,000.
A woman recovering following a rollover crash on the city's north side last night. It happened just before 1 a.m. off of Loop 1604 near Rogers Ranch. That's where San Antonio police say the woman drove off the road, rolled her vehicle over. She was taken to the hospital, expected to be okay. At this point, officers still don't know what caused her vehicle to veer off the road, though.
Now to the new twists in the murder mystery involving a prominent legal family in South Carolina. Lawyer Alex Murdaugh is now suspended from practicing law. This after checking into rehab after the unsolved murders of his wife and son and his latest incident where he was allegedly shot in the head as well. ABC's Rena Roy has the story.
Once a prominent South Carolina lawyer, Alex Murdaugh is now suspended from practicing law. The South Carolina Supreme Court suspending his license after the law firm where he works and that his family helped build reported him for stealing money from the firm.
I think for the first time there's something concrete here, which is saying there was an issue. there was a problem.
The Murdaugh family has gotten national attention since June when Alex's wife Maggie and their 22-year-old son Paul were shot to death near their hunting lodge.
Are they breathing?
No, ma'am. My wife and my son.
And what is your name?
My name is Alex Murdaugh. Please hurry. Neither one of them's moving.
The murder still unsolved. Murdaugh's brother speaking to us shortly after the tragedy.
It's just hard to imagine somebody could be so sick as to do this, intentionally kill people.
And another twist in the saga. Saturday, just one day after resigning from the firm, Murdaugh called 911 shortly after 1:30 in the afternoon to report that he'd been shot. Murdaugh's lawyer telling the New York Times he was fixing a flat tire on the side of a rural road when a car drove past him, then came back to ask if he was having car trouble before someone shot him. He was airlifted to a hospital in Savannah, Georgia for treatment. Officials say it was a superficial gunshot wound to the head. Murdaugh's older brother Randy, who still works at the firm, released a statement saying in part that he was shocked to learn of his brother Alex's drug addiction and stealing of money, and that while he will support his recovery, he does not support, condone, or excuse his conduct. Rena Roy, ABC News, New York.
Back here at home as City Council meets today to discuss the special session of the 87th Texas Legislature. They will take time to recognize those who died during the events of September 11, 2001, and honor those in the city who responded to that disaster. It was a somber beginning to council today in remembrance of 9/11, which happened 20 years ago this Saturday. Chief William McManus, who was working in D.C. at the time, spoke to council, as did the chief of the Texas Division of Emergency Management, Nim Kidd. Kidd was a San Antonio firefighter at the time and was part of the SAFD Technical Rescue Team. Kidd was one of the 6 firefighters and 1 IT member who responded to Ground Zero as part of the Texas response. The team participated in rescue and recovery efforts in the rubble of Ground Zero.
Today marking 100 years since the flood that changed San Antonio forever. In 1921, remnants of a Category 1 hurricane causing death and destruction, and some areas seeing about 10 feet of water. As a result, safety and infrastructure in the Alamo City became a priority, as well as creating agencies dedicated to flood control. Alicia Barrera has more on what those changes were.
It was a devastating flood where over 50 people lost their lives, and damages back then were estimated at millions of dollars. And of course, this spurred change. And as you know, the Riverwalk is directly related to the flood of 1921. According to the director of external communications for the San Antonio River Authority, Stephen Schauer, where the Riverwalk is today was actually one of the area's hardest hit. That's because of the river bend. There, the water slowed down and rose higher and higher. Fortunately, a local architect came up with a strong vision in 1929 that many business leaders and even the Historical Society got behind. That's the Riverwalk. But the push for flood control didn't end there. In the late 1920s through 1930s, the Texas legislature began to create agencies to focus on this issue, giving way to the San Antonio River Authority.
So unfortunately, in 1946, another major storm event damaged San Antonio. And at that time, the U.S. Army Corps of Engineers was invited to our community with help from San Antonio River Authority and Bexar County. And we continued channelizing the river. And then eventually, throughout the 80s and 90s, we created 2 flood control tunnels that run underneath downtown San Antonio. And right behind me is the inlet structure to the main San Antonio River flood tunnel that goes about 150 feet below ground and runs for 3 miles underneath.
Although a lot of work has been done to protect the city, Schauer admits there isn't enough money or infrastructure to protect everything or everyone from the floods. The full story can be found on KSAT.com, as well as an interactive flood map from the River Authority that gives homeowners and business owners a better idea if they need flood insurance. Reporting Alicia Barrera, KSAT 12 News.
The president set to address the nation later on this afternoon in regard to the Delta variant of COVID-19. Still ahead, a look at his 6-step strategy to overcome the virus.
And just before the NFL season starts, the Houston Texans make a popular trade. A lot of folks didn't like it, though. Larry Ramirez has that coming up.
It is wildfire season. After the break, the impact these fires are having on health.
Wildfires seem to be everywhere this time of year. We are witnessing historic fires in California, but we've also had our share here in Texas over the years. Those fires can really impact the quality of the air you breathe. With more, here's ABC's Elizabeth Schulze in today's Medical Minutes.
Wildfires are rampant all over the U.S. during this time of year, especially in western states. Wildfire smoke can release chemicals such as carbon monoxide, carbon dioxide, and particulate matter. Outdoor workers can be particularly vulnerable to the effects of these chemicals, especially if they have pre-existing heart or lung disease. Symptoms caused by wildfire smoke include eye irritation, sore throat, wheezing, and cough. So what can employers and workers do to reduce exposure? Employees can wear respirators if working outdoors in heavy smoke areas. If employment requires respiratory protection, compliance with the Occupational Safety and Health Administration's respiratory protection standard is needed. Try to reschedule work tasks to a less smoky time of day and encourage frequent breaks. Reduce levels of physical activity by avoiding strenuous work. If able to work indoors, install air cleaners with HEPA filters and close windows. Operate air conditioner or heater units in the recirculate setting. With this Medical Minute, I'm Elizabeth Schulze, ABC News.
Okay, who got up early this morning and enjoyed this crisp for September weather?
On the walk to the truck?
No, you
To
didn't
come to
get out.
work?
You didn't go out and ride a horse or walk around the
No,
block.
I had to come to
or
work.
Go play a little tennis.
No.
Well, you got a lot in this morning, Ursula. Quite a list. I did roll down the windows. It was
That's how nice it was.
It was a good start. We began in the 60s. The aquifer, for all the rain we've gotten this summer, is down 0.4 of a foot to 659.8. And we're still in stage 1 restrictions, keep in mind. In the pollen count, molds are moderate, still there, 830, pigweed, ragweed, both low. We've got a couple more mornings that are going to be awesome, and then some rain chances. A look at the 7-day forecast is coming up.
So you got into horseback riding, some tennis, some golf, some jogging. You get a lot of stuff this morning.
I just did the
it all.
horseback riding.
Oh, okay. I thought you were.
It was so nice. Although I will admit, by about 9 o'clock, the humidity was beginning to kick in, or the heat or something.
The heat was. It's the coolest we've been since June 5th, Ursula. So it did feel markedly different outside.
It did.
Yeah, it was great. And we're going to see a couple more mornings like that coming up. Look at the low temperatures this morning. 68 here in San Antonio, 66 Tyler, 74 Houston, 65 Abilene. These were great numbers. There were some low 60s in the hill country too. And with this dry air in place, these mornings continue. Right now, we're up to 91. So you can see the swing. That's what this dry air does. It causes those big swings in temperature. And we're going to gain about 30 degrees. We'll probably be up around 100 by the time it's all said and done. Outside, clear skies, that helps too. 91 and sunny. Northeasterly winds at 13. Notice the feels like temperature is also 91 with the low dew point of 61. We'll see heat index values actually be below what the actual temperature is. Looking at the satellite and temperatures, there are no clouds. 90 in New Braunfels, 88 Seguin, 82 Bernie Stage, 89 in Uvalde, 94 already in Del Rio, so pretty good bet that we'll be up above 100 there. 95 in Cotulla, and there's a look at the dew points. In the low 60s with some 50s on the map in the hill country. I think as we get into the afternoon, we'll actually see some 50s as far as dew points are concerned here in San Antonio. And this is the rest of the afternoon showing dew points somewhere in the low to mid 50s. And that keeps us pretty comfortable. The high temperature, though, will be close to 100, as we mentioned. The feels like temperature actually a little bit below that. And that'll be the case in most spots. But we will see some triple digits on the map today, I think. High pressure is in control. We can see that on water vapor. You see that clockwise spin there. There's our high pressure driving in some of that drier air here into Texas. And it's dry here, but there is some tropical moisture sitting just to our south, or south of Texas, that may eventually move in. First, though, we got to start with Tropical Depression Mindy. This formed yesterday in the Gulf of Mexico, crossed over Florida, now a tropical depression. This will probably stay pretty weak, but it is bringing some rain to parts of the Carolinas. Meantime, there is a system here just off Central America. This has got about a 30% chance of development once it gets into the Gulf of Mexico, which means we probably need to watch it, but most of the models take that moisture into Mexico and really just throw some moisture in our direction, which is ideal. We don't want the tropical systems, we just want the moisture from it. Another system here in the Pacific, this is going to bring some moisture to us as well, so it's pretty active down to our south. Also, there's Hurricane Olaf. We've already had Anna and Elsa this year, and now Olaf, a very frozen theme to the tropics this year for whatever reason. Hurricane Larry is still churning out in the Atlantic. And another area of development, Hurricane Center is watching off the coast of Africa, about a 50% chance of development there. You look at the peak of hurricane season, we're just about there. So you would expect things to be active. 99 Friday, 97 Saturday, still some low humidity, and then look for a 20% chance of some rain late on Sunday with that tropical moisture moving in. It looks like Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and that'll bring some better rain chances with it, guys.
Thanks, Justin.
Yep.
All right, first there was high school, then college, and now we've hit the big time. Everybody's excited tonight.
Yeah, NFL season kicks off tonight with the Cowboys at the Buccaneers. And as strange as it sounds, Dak Prescott is truly looking forward to being hit by a Buccaneers defender. I mean, he hasn't played a regular season game in a long time. Plus, what does Tom Brady expect out of Dak tonight? Coming up.
All of it's earned. There's nothing given. You know, it's not about a bunch of hype or a bunch of build up and BS. You know, we got to go do it.
Tom Brady and the Buccaneers will start their Super Bowl title defense tonight in Big Board Sports.
Pro football coverage powered by Davis Law Firm.
It is finally here. The 2021 NFL season kicks off tonight with the Dallas Cowboys at the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. And the big story centers around Cowboys quarterback Dak Prescott, who was lights out last season before getting hurt in Week 5, ending his season. And after that, the boys just spiraled out of control. When Dak takes the field tonight, it will have been 333 days since he last played in a football game. A lengthy rehab for multiple ankle surgeries and a strained right shoulder kept him from seeing a preseason snap. Now, he was asked, is he eager to take that first hit from a Bucs defender?
I mean, I'm excited for when that moment comes, but I wouldn't say I'm eager. I think it'd be great to come out of that game not touching the ground, but how realistic is that? Obviously, doesn't sound very realistic, but I'm just excited for that moment. I mean, obviously, just to get it out of the way and just say, yeah, as you said, after 11 months being hit. But I'm just excited for everything this game entails, from the moment from warm-ups to pregame to the first whistle to the last and everything in between.
7-time Super Bowl champion quarterback Tom Brady is ready to kick off the season at home with the Cowboys. Brady, who suffered a serious knee injury in 2008, causing him to miss 15 games, can relate to Dak, who's coming back from a nasty season-ending injury himself.
Yeah, mine was 2008. I got injured and I missed the whole year. Dak played a little more than I did his last year. He played, 4 or 5 games, had great 4 or 5 games. So he's a really talented player. Really, since the day he got in the league, he's shown to be a great leader of the team. And, we're just expecting him to play like Dak Prescott does. You know, he's very talented, moves in the pocket, throws a good ball. They got a lot of talented skill players.
It looks like Cowboys right tackle Zach Martin is out due to COVID-19 protocols. Connor McGovern is expected to start for Martin. Cowboys and Buccaneers will play tonight, 7:20 from Raymond James Stadium. The Bucs are favored by 8.5. Yesterday, the Houston Texans made an unpopular trade, sending cornerback Bradley Roby to the Saints. The move upset some of the Texans. Roby spent the last 2 seasons with the Texans, where he had 3 interceptions and 15 passes defensed. He'll miss the first game of the season, however, as part of a 6-game suspension that began in 2020 for violating the NFL's policy on performance-enhancing substances, which appeared to be part of the issue.
Bradley was not going to play this game anyway. So basically the guys that we're playing with right now are the guys that we're going with. We're comfortable with those guys, and basically we've been going with those guys all training camp, and we feel comfortable with that. And then we brought in some other guys that hopefully that will give us some depth at that position also.
Coley also said kicker Kaimi Fairbairn is out with an injury, so they signed kicker Joey Sly to the practice squad. And look for Madison alum Vincent Taylor, number 96, to make his Texans debut Sunday at noon when they host the Jacksonville Jaguars at NRG Stadium.
He wasn't that big when he was at Madison, was he?
He's a big dude.
He's huge.
Yeah.
All right, go Cowboys. Here we go. If you are heading to the grocery store today, you might want to check those meat prices because they've probably gone up. Still ahead, we'll break down the price hike in our consumer news.
President Joe Biden set to address the nation later on this afternoon. He wants to lay out his new plan to deal with the Delta variant of COVID-19, the reasoning behind his 6-step strategy after the break.
And today at 5, if you're ever in a financial bind, you might turn to payday apps. They're easy to use and lend you money till your next paycheck, but while the fees are generally lower than a payday loan, they can still add up. Coming up today at 5, 12 on your sides, Marilyn Morris explains the other options you might turn to that could help you out in the long run. Now to President Biden laying out a new strategy to deal with the Delta variant this afternoon.
This coming amid pediatric cases surging as the new school year gets into swing. ABC's Alex Prochet has the latest from Washington.
This afternoon, President Biden set to lay out a new 6-step strategy to fight the dominant Delta variant and boost vaccinations. A source familiar with the president's plans tells ABC News he will announce executive orders, one requiring all federal executive branch workers to be vaccinated, another mandated employees and contractors with the federal government to be vaccinated too. The White House press secretary giving this preview on MSNBC.
He really wants to lay out for people the steps we're taking to build on what we did over the summer. More requirements for federal workers, more requirements for private sector employees as well.
It's unclear if the president will call for more vaccination mandates in the private sector and for the nation's schools. Biden's planned remarks come as COVID cases and hospitalizations surge. The U.S. heading into the fall with 4 times more patients in the hospital than a year ago, more than 100,000. And there's a record number of COVID infections amongst children. They now account for 1 in 4 of all new cases. The debate over how to keep kids safe ongoing. Los Angeles now on the verge of becoming the first major school district in the country to mandate vaccines in children 12 and older. A vote that's expected to pass set for later today. But in Tennessee, this video going viral of a teenager being mocked by anti-maskers during a county school board meeting.
Who was a former teacher at the Rutherford County School System, died of COVID because someone wasn't wearing a mask. This is a very
A source familiar with the president's plan says with this announcement, the Department of Defense, the VA, Indian Health Services, and the National Institutes of Health will complete implementation of their vaccine requirements, covering some 2.5 million people. Alex Prochet, ABC News, Washington.
A CDC forecast predicts COVID-19 hospitalizations will remain stable or uncertain over the next 4 weeks. This is the 3rd week in a row for that forecast. The agency projects the U.S. deaths from the virus will reach up to 710,000 by October 2nd. Right now, the death toll is at more than 650,000. That's according to Johns Hopkins University.
Looking outside with live cam, it's a really hot day on tap. But it started out real nice.
It started out nice. It's those big temperature swings. And even when it was 100 degrees yesterday, correct me if I'm wrong, it didn't feel that bad to me. Maybe it's just me. I don't know. That lower humidity seems to help a whole lot. And it is going to be another hot day for sure. But look at where we started. 68 degrees here in San Antonio. 61 Fredericksburg, 61 in Kerrville. It was a very comfortable morning. Even all the way down to Victoria and Beeville, temperatures were in the 60s. We haven't seen that since early June. Here's how we play out the day, though. We start off at 68, yes, but we make it up to 100 by 5 o'clock today. So a 32-degree swing in the temperature, especially with the clear skies we have right now. Dry heat, breezy today. There is going to be a good northeasterly breeze. By Friday into Saturday, we'll continue with our comfortable mornings. Temperatures will be in the 60s, I think, through Saturday morning, maybe even Sunday morning. But by Sunday, we start to see some tropical moisture moving in, and that starts to make a difference in our highs and lows, and brings in some rain chances to our forecast early next week. For today, we're up around 100 by 5 o'clock, 94 by 7 p.m. Northeasterly winds 10 to 15 miles per hour and breezy. Coming up, we'll talk about those rain chances. We'll also get you that football forecast here in just a couple of minutes, guys.
Thank you, Justin. Some big stories today. The fraud trial against former Theranos CEO Elizabeth Holmes getting underway with opening statements in San Jose, California. The blood testing company failed in 2018. It came after the Wall Street Journal revealed that there were serious flaws in the company's proprietary blood testing technology, leading to regulatory investigations that stopped the testing. Holmes facing a dozen federal fraud and conspiracy charges. She's accused of knowingly misleading investors, patients, and doctors about the technology. The trial expected to last about 13 weeks. If found guilty, Holmes could spend up to 20 years in prison. It's been 20 years since the attacks on 9/11, and a new musical is making its way to Apple TV, showing the airplanes that emergency landed in Canada. We're going to give you a first look at Come Away coming up in the spotlight.
The Cowboys getting ready to kick off the season tonight against Tampa, and one of the Dallas linebackers doesn't like night games. That's not going to go over too well. Larry Ramirez has who and what.
And if you've been to the grocery store, you might have noticed meat prices are sky high. Well, the White House has noticed it too. We're going to tell you what to expect at the checkout after the break in your consumer news.
Hello, everyone. This is your daily tech and business briefing from Cheddar News. Boeing's board facing a shareholder lawsuit. This claims the company lied about properly monitoring the safety of the 737 MAX jets. A Delaware judge says Boeing turned a blind eye to safety reporting and instead focused on rapid production and profits. Now, this comes following two 737 MAX jet crashes that killed 346 people in less than 6 months. Meanwhile, Bitcoin's free fall easing up after dropping 17% at one point earlier this week. This comes after a rocky rollout in El Salvador. That's where the country adopted Bitcoin as legal tender. Now, Bitcoin also making its mark in Ukraine. That is, it becomes the latest country to legalize the cryptocurrency. And Twitter now testing a new feature to connect people with common interests. The new feature is called Communities, and it's said to be similar to Facebook groups and Reddit subreddits. Users who join a community can tweet specifically to other users in that community, and only people within that community can like or reply to a tweet. The decision to roll out Communities, part of Twitter's plan to expand their user base to 315 million daily active users by the end of 2023. And that's Cheddar News Business and Tech Update. I'm Baker Machado, coming to you from Cheddar Studios in Lower Manhattan.
And if you have been to the grocery store lately, you may have noticed an increase in meat prices. The White House has noticed as well and has announced new measures aimed toward fighting pandemic profiteering. Officials say the consolidation with beef, pork, and poultry products may have allowed some companies to exploit the situation to make unfair profits, with prices even doubling in some places. Officials say this causes consumers to pay more and isn't beneficial to farmers and ranchers. There are no official details on the White House plans as of yet.
If you are unvaccinated and you have plans to go to Hawaii for vacation, you might want to reconsider. Starting September 15th, people visiting Maui who want to dine inside restaurants and bars must show proof that they're fully vaccinated. The rule does not apply to children 12 and under, though. Bars and restaurants will also close at 10 p.m. now. Honolulu has similar restrictions in place. As of September 13th, people need to show proof of vaccination or a negative COVID test in order to visit restaurants, bars, and other businesses. Some tourists have been arrested after they lied about their vaccine status while in Hawaii.
20 years ago, when the 9/11 attacks happened, hundreds of passenger planes in flight over North America were ordered to make emergency landings in Canada. 38 of them landed in tiny Gander, Newfoundland. What followed is chronicled in the Tony-winning Broadway musical Come From Away, which arrives on Apple TV Plus this weekend. David Daniel talked with the show's creators and stars.
With
thousands of passengers arriving at any minute. The town is asking for help with, well, anything you can do.
On 9/11, the population of Gander, Newfoundland nearly doubled overnight as dozens of planes landed in the tiny town. Come From Away features 12 actors playing both the plane people and the locals who took them into their homes and hearts.
They were able to take this situation and help people through it with compassion.
You know, they would tell us a story that makes you start to well up, and then immediately they'll see that and they'll be like, oh, no, here's a joke. And they'll take care of you with their humor.
Yeah, we all just tried to do the show justice and be true to these people.
We soak it in and we become better if the show is about goodness and generosity.
After a year-plus shutdown, director Christopher Ashley reunited the cast to film the show.
The most powerful thing I think about shooting the film was having the audience rejoin us and having the first audience back to see a Broadway show, and the emotion in that room was palpable.
You know, it was almost like coming out of hibernation in a way, as we've all been in this weird stasis for the past year and a half.
This whole thing is such a beautiful ensemble piece that there's not one of us has to hold it up on our own. So we were breathing together. Once we started singing and harmonizing together, we knew that it was all going to come into place.
I think it really highlights for me like how much we need community.
Looking right and left and going, oh, all of us are in it together. We're all having the same experience. And that's Come From Away.
We honor what was lost, but we also commemorate what we found.
In Hollywood, I'm David Daniel.
Come From Away debuts tomorrow on Apple TV+.
We are waiting for some pretty hot temperatures the next couple of days.
Yeah, we're going to be right around that century mark. That's where we were yesterday. We came within 1 degree of the record, actually, which was 101 yesterday. Today, the record is 102, set back in 1893. Probably not in jeopardy, but we are forecasting 100 this afternoon. So far, 91. There was that morning low of 68, which was below average. Not near the record, though, 57, set back in 1957. We'll look at that hot forecast plus the rain chances next week. Coming up.
I guess we got to experience the heat before we experience some more rain. Is that how this works?
Well, you know what? Things are still looking green. So far, so good.
They are. It's been an interesting summer where we've had, rain on the radar quite a bit. The numbers haven't been huge, but we've done pretty well this summer, and there is some more rain in the forecast, fortunately. Let's start, though, with the football forecast, guys. We got some football games tonight.
Important stuff.
It's still right
look at there.
The
it's up. It's good.
It's like you have experience calling. Great job. Yeah, 94 at kickoff, 86 by halftime. So the temperatures will fall off pretty quickly. We'll have clear skies and that dry air. Sunset will be around 7:46. Should be really nice for any of the football games you're heading out to tonight. Let's talk about the last 100-degree day when we typically see it around here. The average is August 19th. Obviously, we're past that, but the latest we've ever seen a 100-degree day in San Antonio is September 28th, 2005. We got up to 104. So we are getting close to sort of maybe getting away from these triple digits, but they are in the forecast today. And it should be noted that we've had 23 years where we didn't get any 100-degree days. So that kind of throws off things a little bit. But that gives you a general idea. Once we get into October, hopefully we'll be done with the triple digits. Outside right now, 91 degrees at the airport, 93 Stinson, 90 Kelly, 90 at Randolph. And we've got a northeasterly breeze right now starting to pick up a little bit. 90 Comfort, 87 Canyon Lake, 90 in Hondo, 91 Divine, 93 in Pleasanton. A lot of 90s on the map, with the exception being the Hill Country, where it's 87 Kerrville and 88 in Fredericksburg. Both places started off in the low 60s this morning thanks to some drier air. Dew points are in the low 60s here in San Antonio. We're starting to see a few 50s to our north. Dew points do pick up a little bit as you work towards the coast. And the forecast for today takes us up to 100, as we talked about, sunny skies, and then those numbers fall off pretty quickly tonight once the sun goes down into the 70s by probably midnight. Here's the setup. We do have some tropical moisture still working across Florida. I wanted to show this because we did get a tropical storm to develop yesterday in the Gulf of Mexico. It was very quick. Made landfall. This is Mindy, by the way. And now that circulation is moving into the Atlantic. Probably just going to stay a tropical depression, but bringing some rain to parts of the Carolinas today. The big story for us, that ridge of high pressure, which is still sitting out west. And to our south, we have tropical activity. So we're kind of in between all of this. And as far as the tropics are concerned, there is a little system down here off the coast of Central America that we need to watch. Although I think for us, really, it's just going to be a moisture thing where it's going to throw some moisture in our direction. There's also some development potentially in the Pacific. Some of that moisture could also work north into Texas. So by the time we get into Sunday morning, it's going to be dry through Saturday. But by the time we get into Sunday morning, some of this tropical moisture is trying to work in. Where you see some of these reds and oranges, that's that deeper moisture. And by late on Sunday and into Monday, it pulls into South Texas, and that should bring some scattered showers and storms with it. Some downpours, those tropical downpours that we've seen over parts of this summer. Low humidity next couple of days, 100 degrees today, 99 Friday, 97 Saturday, 20% chance late on Sunday. I think for the most part, Sunday will be an okay day, but then some scattered downpours Monday, maybe a little more isolated Tuesday, and then picking back up Wednesday with temperatures cooling into the low 90s, guys.
All right. A lot of people going to be staying indoors tonight.
Yeah, TVs will be on. A lot of people anxious to get this thing going, and I guess the players are anxious to get this thing going too, huh?
Yeah, Leighton Vander Esch is not a fan of night games. He wants to play the sooner the better. Yeah. Now, when it comes to the Dallas Cowboys, they are winless when facing Tom Brady, but that's when he was with the Patriots. Plus, when it comes to removing Come and Take It, Jeff Traylor says that is out of his control. Coming up.
I'm not a fan of night games. Exactly like you said, I don't like waiting all day, but you gotta put that past yourself.
Dallas Cowboys linebacker number 55, Leighton Vander Esch, wants to play football right now, not at 7:20 tonight in Big Board Sports.
Pro football coverage, powered by Davis Law Firm.
Cowboys first-year defensive coordinator Dan Quinn faces a tough test tonight when the boys visit the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Quinn was hired to turn around the Cowboys' defense, one that was just beyond awful last season. It's part of the reason why Dallas selected 8 defenders in the recent NFL draft. Tonight, their defense will face Tom Brady, a QB the Cowboys have never defeated, losing all 5 times they've faced him. And this game marks the first time Cowboys linebacker Leighton Vander Esch will face Brady.
I mean, he can do it all. There's a reason he's still playing, and he still wants to play for a long time. You got to respect a guy like that. I mean, he is a student of the game. I mean, right now he's probably qualified as a professor at this point. But no, the guy does it all. He's an extremely crazy good athlete. If he catches you sleeping, he's going to exploit it play after play after play. So you got to be on. You got to be focused every single play, and not be looking too ahead or the play behind you.
Brady, who is entering his 22nd season overall and second with the Buccaneers, was asked what he expects from himself tonight in the Bucs season opener.
You know, I just want to play at a really high level for our team. I think they're counting on me to play really well, to play the type of football I'm capable of. So, and I think just for me, it's going to be about kind of trying to be the great leader and great player that I can be on a consistent basis, day in, day out, week in, week out, month in, month out. And, that's what I'm trying to be every year. I'm trying to go out there and be the best I could be.
Dak and the boys will face the Bucs tonight at 7:20. And how about this? The Cowboys are 3-0 when kicking off the season with the Super Bowl champs. The last time that happened was in 2012. After recent backlash, UTSA football is going to discontinue the slogan, "Come and Take It." The first thing you saw when you entered the Roadrunners' brand new race facility. UTSA President Taylor Amy said in an email sent to facility staff, students, faculty, and alumni Tuesday that the use of "Come and Take It" will end immediately. Head football coach Jeff Traylor said the president made his decision. The team's going to support it. He said their job as a football team is to win games. So is this controversy a distraction for the Roadrunners as they prepare for Lamar?
It is what it is. There's always distractions and stuff, and that's why you have a brand. That's why we talk about it every single day. If you look, and somewhere in there you got to be a man of integrity, You got to have some passion. You got to be mentally and physically tough. You got to be selfless. You got to give perfect effort. And if you do all those things, this is a great example of trusting the process. What does that mean to us? Control what we can control. We have no control over this situation whatsoever.
UTSA will host Lamar Saturday, 5 p.m. at the Alamo Dome.
I'd like to hear a pregame speech from him.
I know. He kind of reminds me of Jim Rackley in that way that I think he can just fire you up.
Go. Or maybe a halftime speech when you're down a couple of touchdowns and you hadn't played well.
Yep.
Woo! That'd be good stuff. All right, Larry, thanks.
Good stuff coming up on SA Live as well.
Yes, speaking of good stuff, how about some game day food, right? Football's here, we're excited. What about some brisket nachos?
But I tell you, this is like way over the top because it's from Dinger Trading Company up there in Bernie, and Executive Chef Mike Collins is here. Oh my goodness gracious, I can't wait to tell you what's all in this. But you got something special with guacamole, right?
With the guacamole, yeah, I like to do we do an heirloom tomato pico, but I pickle or marinate the onions and jalapenos in a little fresh lime juice. Kind of softens them up, takes some of the bite out, and gives them that little acid to it.
And nice big chunks, even with the guacamole.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
I love that.
Taste it when you're eating it.
Ooh.
And how about some more food?
Yes, how about fried rice by the pound? Yep, there is a food truck, and that's how they sell it. Oh my goodness gracious, and then you can put all the different toppings on there while you're at it. All right, ready for a fun little date night? How about painting?
How about with a twist? Yeah, BYOB.
Yeah, painting with a twist. This is just a fun thing to do. We're going to show you a couple of different things that maybe you can have a girls' night out there. Date night, first date, maybe a proposal.
Ooh, maybe it feels more like fall. Speaking of, there is a huge maze in the Hill Country opening up tomorrow already. Pumpkins, corn maze, all of it.
What gets you in the fall spirits? That more coming up on SA Live.